The United States Postal Service. Ways to improve, market, and save the post office. A brief history. The post office is the second largest civilian employer between the federal government and Walmart. The post office is legally obligated to serve all Americans, regardless of a person's geography, at a uniform price and quality. The post office hasn't directly received taxpayer dollars since the early 1980s. The dilemma. Over the last 10 years, the post office has been gradually losing revenue. First class mail has declined 29% from 1998 to 2008, mainly from email, instant messaging, and wide internet usage. To overcome this, the post office has raised its production levels through automation and route reoptimization. So, where's the money? Since 2006, the post office has been forced to come up with roughly $5 billion dollars in advance to pay for health care and benefits to retirees. There is no other agency within the government that is forced to come up with such a large amount of money. Most of the revenue comes from first class mail, which is protected by a legal monopoly. As of 2011, the post office has been losing $3 billion dollars per quarter. So just think, how often do you use the postal service? To buy occasional stamps to mail letters and bills? To mail holiday packages? Within the past few years, the post office came up with a new slogan: if it fits, it ships. It seems good on the surface, but it doesn't stick to help increase sales, at least not enough to guarantee future revenue. So here's a list of other companies that have failed to adapt to change: Blockbuster, the newspaper industry, Kodak, Yahoo, and Sears, along with their competitors. Here's a SWOT analysis of their current system. Strengths: customers can ship a package or a letter anywhere for a relatively low price. People in rural areas can be reached, as where sometimes UPS and FedEx can't reach those people. Companies such as Netflix and Amazon.com use the post office for cheaper shipping rates for customers. Then there's Saturday deliveries. Weaknesses: there's been speculation going around that the post office will get rid of overnight deliveries. Then there's the yearly raising in stamp rates. The Postmaster General has proposed cuts but no new way to create revenue. Then there's laws on the books restricting the post office from engaging in new business opportunities. Opportunities. Of course, they have their slogan and campaign: if it fits, it ships. Even if the post office raises their rates, it would still be low compared to their competitors. Then, of course, they have their Saturday deliveries. The post office is partially protected by the Universal Service Obligation and the Private Express statutes. The Private Express statutes create a government monopoly on the carriage and delivery of letter mail. Threats: there's the old school way of thinking and the failure to adapt. Then there's layoffs and cuts. These cuts would mainly hurt rural areas that depend on the post office for more than just mailing. Then there's the internet, which offers email, instant messaging, and online bill pay. So, what we need is innovation and forward thinking. Just think, over the last 40 years, we have had numerous innovations, such as hybrid cars and windmills, advances in science and technology, smartphones, and we've even put a man on the moon. So, how about the internet? What if the post office provided an internet service, or at the least, provided a search engine, as well as other basic services, as shown in this video featuring Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont. These other basic services would include holiday gift wrapping, faxing and photocopying services, letter notary, selling and renewing hunting and fishing licenses, and mailing and cashing government checks. The new proposal: strengths. It would create new jobs as well as new revenue. Current and new employees would have to be trained. Buildings would have to be remodeled to fit the new business. Weaknesses: there are current laws on the books that prevent the post office from pursuing any non postal business opportunities. Then there could be problems with getting the project off the ground and keeping it afloat for some time. Then there's other outlets that Americans can get their internet sources from. Opportunities: the post office would have new revenue, so it would no longer be in jeopardy of cutting thousands of jobs. People could receive and cash government checks without the need of going to check cashing businesses, which usually charge huge fees. Also, customers will also have different options to choose from besides the private sector. Threats: as I said before, there's current laws that prevent the post office from pursuing non-postal business opportunities. Then there would be the political debate. Then there would be a possible debate between civil liberties groups and lawyers, as well as threats from their competitors. So here's a basic chart of the possible demographics of the people that would use these services. So the conclusion: there are going to be cuts made to the service of the post office, which is a huge step. But it's like treating, but it's like using morphine to treat a broken arm, meaning that it doesn't address the real problem. There needs to be an introduction of a younger generation of workers to get the post office to think beyond just mail. Also, the post office needs to learn from its competitors and other businesses within the private sector. Then there needs to be changes within the current laws. And of course, support from everyday Americans. Creativity is thinking up new things. Innovation is doing new things.